back to another Guru Beauty Makeup Graveyard series. Today, as you can see, we are focusing on my concealer drawer. Couple of points before I get started. First of all, there is not a single human being on the planet who needs this much concealer. Really, in reality, if you've found the ones that really suit you, there is simply no more need than maybe 2, 3, maybe even 4, chuck in one for the handbag, concealers in your life. You may have different areas that you want concealing. You may need different shades of concealer. That's all okay. Different textures as well. But no human needs this much concealer. This is years and years of concealer collecting, and I simply don't need all of this. It's now full, the drawer, it's all getting in my way, and I can't find things as I'm looking for it. You can see that what did used to be quite organized is now just a chuck heap, so it's really time to clean this up. The next point I want to make is that concealer, because it's a cream product, first of all, most of these concealers that are creams have a 6-month expiration date. I ignore that at my own risk, at my own peril. I'm lucky enough to have never had an eye infection or anything go wrong, but you are introducing bacteria to these products over time, and that certainly does fester in the container. Also, you know, products separate. When you've got cream products in particular, they've got emollients and things that don't last much beyond, you know, whatever time is on the labeling. So some of these are older than 6 months old. I will not be giving away or selling any concealers that I won't be keeping in this drawer. So while I will be having a blog sale probably on Instagram once my Makeup Graveyard series is done, I won't be including any concealers. Last point I guess I would say is, you know, one of my biggest aims with concealer collecting over time has been what is the best product to cover my under eye circles. I've got dark concave under eye areas, and I like correctors, I like concealers, I like concealers with good coverage, but also particularly ones that keep my under eye looking hydrated, ones that don't crease and make my under eye look dry or crepey, and something that's also long lasting. Now, I do also use concealers on spots around my face as well, and I have different requirements, mainly that I've got coverage that covers things like, you know, blemishes that lasts a long time and doesn't collect around dry spots. So without any further ado, let's get into the concealer collection. First up, you will see a few of these in the collection. Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. This is a great one for under eye, really nice and affordable. I also use this one on my face. My favorite shade for me and my NC25 skin is medium. I'm definitely keeping that. Next up, a relatively new one for me. This is from Lancome. They're a long-lasting softening concealer. Contains SPF 12. I got this shade 02 Beige Sable. I will be keeping that one. Not a holy grail so far, but yeah, I will be using this one a little bit more. Another favorite of mine of late, this is the Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector. This is a peachy colored, very sort of hydrating, thick feeling cream. I absolutely love it. The one thing I don't like about it is that I don't know if it contains oil, if that's the ingredient, but my mascara does transfer to my under eye area when I wear this. I typically will wear this under a concealer, and I just adore the effect other than the mascara. I need to experiment with this and waterproof mascara, but it does wonderful things for brightening my under eye area. Thoroughly recommend it if you can figure out the mascara situation. Another favorite from Laura Mercier, the High Coverage Concealer for under eye. Very thick. You need like a pin prick amount. Great coverage. Nice and hydrating looking. I've got the shade 3.5 there. Definitely keeping. Another couple here from Laura Mercier. This is the Secret Camouflage SC3. This is a duo of concealers. You've got something a little bit more peachy, something a little bit lighter. This is perfect for the face, not so much the under eye. I'll definitely be keeping that. Really nice coverage. I've also got it in SC2. Something here from Cargo. I bought this a while ago. It's called the One Base Concealer and Foundation in One. I don't even know if I have tried this one, but it's time to say goodbye to that one. Another shade here of the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Dark Circle Eraser. This one is in the shade Brightener Illuminator. It's a very sort of pink shade, but I feel like it does nothing for me. I'm not going to be keeping this one. This is a concealer palette from MAC, the Pro Conceal and Correct palette in medium. We've got shades from NC30, NW25, NC35, NW35, mid yellow and mid peach. This is a really handy palette when I'm trying to cover different areas of my face. This is a really nice, good coverage, long lasting concealer. I will set this one with a powder gel generally, and I just love that you've got all the shades in one. Definitely keeping that one. Something from Milani, I've had this one for a few years. It is the HD Advanced Concealer, Click, Clever, Correct and Protect Eye and Face in the shade 04. Time to say goodbye. This is one from L'Oreal, the Lumi Magique Stylo Touch de Lumiere, like the YSL Touche Eclat. This is in the shade 3, dark. I'll be keeping this one a little bit longer. A holy grail for many, not holy grail for me, but this is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I've got this in a few shades. This is the shade Honey. I will be keeping this one. It's a decent concealer. I'd say the same about the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. I've seen young ladies on YouTube slather this on all over their under eye area in thick, thick layers, blend it out with a beauty blender, a little glass vial, a pump that releases too much product. I've got this in a few shades. I will be keeping it. It's a nice, decent one for all over my face, and I will in a pinch use it on my under eye, keeping. This is one that was sent to me recently from a brand called Mironess HD Beauty Light CC Concealer in the shade number 2. It is a twist up crown. I found it a decent product, but I'm just not reaching for it much. I'm going to be getting rid of that one. One that I picked up from Illamasqua as a corrector. It's their cream pigment in the shade Emerge. You can see it's a peachy shade. I will be playing with that one a little bit more, keeping. A loose powder concealer from Bare Minerals. It needs a clean up. This is in the shade Summer Bisque. It does contain SPF 20 sunscreen, which is fantastic. I will use it on its own or to set and add coverage to a liquid concealer. I will be keeping the Summer Bisque. Another unused Instant Age Rewind Dark Circle Eraser in the shade Medium. Bought that as a backup, definitely keeping. A YSL Touche Eclat, the clickety pen that started it all. Not so much of a concealer, more of a highlighter. This is in the shade 2, which is really quite light for me. I think I like the shade 3 maybe a little bit better, but I will be keeping this one for brightening until I'm done with it. One from Clinique. I think I bought this because of the Pixie Woo girls. This is the Airbrush Concealer. I've got this in the shade 02 Medium. A decent but not holy grail. I will keep this one for a little bit longer though. One from Tarina Tarantino when she was out at Sephora. This is the Tarina Tarantino Eye Dream Hyperlight Under Eye Brightener. Not anything spectacular, but you can see very, very pink there. It's okay. Very brightening. I think that it might make my under eye area look a little bit too ashy. Then when I put on concealer, it's as though I never really put anything on at all. It's time to move this one from Tarina Tarantino on. Once a favorite of mine, this is the Kat Von D Tattoo Concealer in the shade Light. Compared with the Laura Mercier, it's not super duper coverage, but I will be keeping this one a little bit longer. From Giorgio Armani, the Master Corrector in the shade 1. You can see very peachy colored, very lightweight fluid that you apply with a little brush applicator. I will be keeping that one. Another Laura Mercier High Coverage Concealer for under eye, this time in the shade 4. Love it, love this concealer. Another concealer I absolutely love from Cover FX. This is their Cream Concealer in the shade N for neutral medium. They have a wide range of shades. I love this concealer for the under eye. It really is a lovely one, keeping. One from MAC's Prep and Prime collection. This is in the shade Peach Luster. It does look crazy. Some will say that this is for very, very dark skins, but I bought it as a corrector for my under eye area. This is in the shade Peach Luster, and I will be keeping that one. From Becca, the Ultimate Coverage Concealing Cream. This is in the shade Brulee, and I will be keeping that one a little bit longer. Another YSL Touche Eclat in the shade 2, keeping. One from CoverGirl, the 123 True Blend Fix Stick Concealer. They had a few different shades available. This is the medium light. I won't be keeping this one. The Dior Skin Star Concealer. I wasn't a huge fan. This is in the shade 02. I'm gonna keep this for a little bit longer. Another Laura Mercier concealer. Boy, she does conceal as well. The Secret Concealer in the shade 2. A little bit more sort of emollient, sticky, I would say, than the waxy Secret Camouflage Duo. This is a nice one with decent coverage. I will be keeping that one. One from Revlon. This is the Photo Ready Concealer in the shade Light Medium 03. I'll be keeping this one for a little bit longer. Another Maybelline Instant Age Rewind in the shade now Neutralizer. I think I like this one better than the brightener shade. I don't have a whole lot left. I'll be keeping it just to finish it off. Something from Inglot. This is a concealer pot in the shade 66. It's a cream concealer. I won't be keeping this one. One from MAC. I think I have pretty much every MAC concealer there is. This is the Mineralized Concealer in NW20. Lightweight, good for when you don't need a whole lot of coverage and you want something that's relatively hydrating. This is one for you if you don't have too much that needs doing. One of my favorite concealers, this is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Concealer, medium light. Love it, have repurchased. We'll definitely use this one up, keeping. And this is the newer one, the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Concealer. This is in the shade Light Medium. It does contain SPF 10. I actually quite like this for the under eye. It is on the slightly drier side, but it does last a long time. Love this on the face. This is one of my favorite concealers of all time, keeping. A relatively new one from me from Urban Decay Naked Skin line. This is the Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer in the shade Medium Neutral. I don't remember being a huge fan of this on the under eye, but I will be keeping that one. Another matte concealer. This is the Select Cover Up in the shade NW25. Like the Mineralize, this is more of a lightweight concealer. I think if you want like a lighter, more medium coverage from this one, this is the one for you. This is a decent sort of everyday if you don't want something that's going to dry out too much or something that's too high coverage or cake up at all. This is a nice one. From Bare Minerals, this is their Stroke of Light Eye Brightener Illuminator, and this is in the shade Luminous 3, a decent one. Doesn't blow me away, but I will be keeping that one for the moment. An old Garnier Roll-On Anti-Dark Circles. It has a cooling roller ball on it when you apply it, but with the alcohol content that it contains, it does tend to dry out the under eye area over time. Not keeping. This is old Benefit called the It Stick. It's a Conceal It All Stick. I will not be keeping that one. One from Natio. This is a few years old. The Pure Mineral Eye Brightener. The idea of that being that it is an illuminating type product that you might top with a concealer. This one's just seen its day. I will be getting rid of that. Another MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. This is in a darker shade, the NW25. I think I got this as more of a correcting type mechanism, or in the summer on my face when I am darker. I'll be keeping that definitely. Do you remember these? The Maybelline Dream Mousse Concealer in the shade Light. I haven't even opened this one, but I'm going to be getting rid of that. From Napoleon, called V1 Concealer. They had one shade only available, and they've since come out with a lighter shade. This is actually the shade Light, another sort of creamy, emollient, hydrating looking pot concealers. I will be keeping this one. Another loose powder concealer from Bare Minerals. This one is in the shade Well Rested for Eyes. It's a multitasking mineral powder. I love this one. I bought lots of backups when I heard that it wasn't going to be continued. I really like that. I will be keeping it for when my under eyes need setting. One of the most expensive concealers in this drawer. This is from Clé de Peau in the shade Beige. Didn't blow me away, but it's okay, particularly for the face. I don't think I found it particularly hydrating as you would expect from a stick concealer under the eye. I will be keeping that one for further use. One from Clarins. A lot of our English YouTuber friends have been talking about this one quite a bit over the last 12 months. This is the Instant Concealer. Smoothing, long-lasting, revives tired eyes, they say. I chose the shade 02. Keeping. An old one from Australis, the Liquid Concealer Pen in the shade Medium. I think I got this from a bargain bin. Time to say goodbye. Oh boy, an oldie but a goodie. This is the MAC Studio Finish Concealer. It does have SPF 35 coverage. This is the shade NC20. Very, very thick. It's similar to the concealers, the same as the concealers in the MAC palette that I showed you. Keeping. An old one that was recommended to me in Sephora back in the day. This is from Doo-Wop Cosmetics. The idea of this is that it's got a very thick, waxy, peachy toned corrector on top that you first use to color correct. Then you go in with the concealer. This one's just too old. I'm going to be getting rid of that. One of my very favorite under eye concealers. This is from IT Cosmetics, the Bye Bye Under Eye. This is in the shade Tan. I started with the shade Neutral Medium. I love, 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 love this for the under eye area. Keeping. A really beautiful brightening setting powder from Laura Mercier. This is the Secret Brightening Powder in the shade 2. I will apply this either with a fan brush or with a damp sponge over my concealer. You can see it is very light, beautiful fine texture, a nice one for setting the under eye area to keep your concealer staying all day. Keeping. Another product from Giorgio Armani. This is the High Precision Retouch, and this is in the shade 2. An okay concealer. I don't think I'd particularly recommend, but I will be keeping this one. Another NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, this time in the shade Ginger. I'll be keeping that one. A relatively new one from Josie Maran, the Argan Creamy Concealer Crown in the shade Light. I think I got this thinking that, oh, that'll have a really nice color for the under area, and it'll sort of be hydrated if it's got anything like argan oil in it. My issue with this one is that it didn't have enough coverage, but it's okay as a corrector underneath a concealer. Another product from Laura Mercier. This is a really nice handy product. You've got two products in one. It's called the Undercover Pot, but you've got the duo here, like the Secret Camouflage Duo in the Duo palette, but then you've also also got the Secret Brightening Powder underneath, a really, really nice one for travel. I would recommend the Undercover Pot. It's a beautiful product from Laura Mercier. Another very expensive concealer in the drawer, the Terribly Donceless Concealer from By Terry, Anti-Wrinkle, Dark Circle, Eye Bag Serum Corrector. Probably one that has benefits if you use it every day. I just cannot commit to using anything every day. This is in the shade 4, Medium Peach. Not blown away, I will be keeping it though. Another product from Illamasqua, this is the Skin Base Lift Brightening Concealer. I've got this in the shade Medium 1. I don't remember being terribly impressed with this one. It looks like it has developed cracks in it, but it still feels fairly emollient. Decent coverage there. I'm not sure if it's great for the under eye. I will be keeping it for further experimentation though. From Maybelline, this is a Fit Me in the shade Light. I will be keeping this one a little longer. Another favorite formulation from Maybelline. I would say of all drugstore brands, Maybelline does concealers best. This is one of my favorite all-time concealers also, the Super Stay 24-Hour Concealer. I've got this in a few shades. This is the darker shade that I have here in Deep Beige. I love it as an under eye corrector. I've also got it here in the shade Cream, I think. Really beautiful, great for blemishes and decent for the under eye. I would say this is sort of equivalent to the Estee Lauder Double Wear. Really nice concealer, check it out. This is one from MAC, a Pro Sculpting Cream in Naturally Defined. It's not exactly a concealer, but I've put it in my concealer drawer because, I don't know, I don't use it as a foundation and I don't use it as a highlighter. I think it does okay as a concealer to sort of brighten areas of my face. So I will be keeping that one. It's a decent one, the Pro Sculpting Cream. Another favorite for the under eye, this is the Makeup Forever Full Cover Extreme Camouflage Cream. It is a waterproof product, fragrance free as well as non-comedogenic. I have no idea what shade this is, but I will be keeping. An oldie from Neutrogena. This was from the United States, the 3-in-1 concealer for eyes. They claim concealer, eye cream and SPF 20. Will not be keeping. A little sample Fake Up. Again, I find this is not great as a standalone concealer for me. They do claim hydrating crease control concealer. I think this is okay for underneath a concealer if you want a little bit more hydration. I will be opening that up and keeping it. An oldie from Maybelline. This was a favorite at the time, the Instant Age Rewind Double Face Perfector. You've got a conceal end and a highlight end. Just too old, I'll be getting rid of that. A little setting powder from e.l.f. This is the High Definition Under Eye Setting Powder. Very similar to those lightweight face powders. I'll be keeping that one. One from Marc Jacobs. I must say I haven't given this one enough of a go. This is the Full Cover Concealer. I've got it in the shade number 3 Young, the Remarkable Concealer. I will be keeping this one a little longer. From the Balm, the Time Balm Concealer. This is in the shade Light Medium. I'll be keeping this one for a little bit longer. Another very expensive concealer. This is from Hourglass and it's in the shade Hidden Sand, a stick concealer that is just okay. I don't remember being blown away, but I will keep that. Something from NYX. This is Above and Beyond Full Coverage Concealer. They've got a couple different shades. I got one in yellow for brightening, also one in purple for brightening as well. I won't be keeping these. One from Estee Lauder, Disappear Smoothing Cream Concealer. This one's okay from memory. They claim that it disguises dark circles, lines and shadows, soothes away puffiness, moisturizes and protects. It sounds fantastic, doesn't it? I've got this in the shade 02 Light. I'll be keeping this one. Another master corrector from Giorgio Armani, this time in the shade 2. This is a little peachier than the other pink one that I showed you. I'll be keeping that. A concealer from Arbonne in the shade Light. I don't remember being completely blown away by this concealer. It was sent to me. Okay for the face. Probably I wouldn't use it. It's not enough for my under eye area, but I will keep that. That is relatively new and it's still got life in it. Another Maybelline Fit Me in the shade 20 Sand. I'll be keeping that. Another Maybelline Dream Lumi Touch Highlighting Concealer. This is in the shade 02 Nude. I'll be keeping that. A stick concealer from NARS. This is in the shade Custard. Okay for the face. Probably not great for the under eye area, but I will keep that. Something here from Laura Mercier. This is actually an eye primer. It's the Eye Basics in Wheat. I think I've just put it away in the wrong drawer. I will be keeping that one. Another Maybelline Dream Mousse Concealer in the shade Light. Time to say goodbye. An Erase Paste from Benefit. This is in the shade number 2 Medium. A few different shades available. This is peachy colored, so good for color correcting. I find that I need a little more with the Erase Paste as well, but I will be keeping that one. Another Maybelline Age Rewind. This is in the shade Light. I wouldn't use this on my under eye area, but a decent one for highlighting, you know, down the nose, down the jawline, across the cheekbones, and blending out with a beauty blender. I will be keeping that. One from Obsessive Compulsive Cosmetics, the OCC Skin Conceal in the shade Y1. I won't be keeping that. From one of my favorite concealer brands, the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Corrector Concentrate Cream. This is in the shade Light. I think I could probably do with the shade Medium. You can see it's got a bit of a peachy tone to it. I will be keeping that one. From NYX, this is the concealer in a jar in the shade Beige. Time to say goodbye to that. Another one from MAC, the Studio Sculpt Concealer in NW20. This is an okay one for the face, not so much for me. For the under eye, I will keep that one. From Napoleon, this is the Enhancer. The idea of the Enhancer is that it brightens. You can see how bright that is compared with other products on my hand. You could use this to brighten different areas of your face before putting concealer over the top. I will be keeping that one. A tiny little beauty blender, you know, eye sponge. Don't waste your money on that. From CoverGirl and Olay, another favorite from the drugstore. This is the Simply Ageless Eye Concealer. This is in the shade 210. I also have the shade 230. I think I had to get that one from America. I might keep these ones for a little bit longer. I think you can still get those from the store. Another Benefit Erase Paste in the shade Medium. That one is in and out of my travel bag. A Makeup Forever Cream Camouflage. This is in the shade number 15, I think. I will be keeping that. This is one of my messiest drawers. I must apologize for the filth that is in here. I've already got my hands covered in foundation by the time I go to concealer, and you can see there's been some spills in that drawer. It's really time for a nice cleanup. This is one from Eve Pearl, the Duo. It's this Dual Salmon Concealer in the shade Light Medium. I will be keeping that one. Also one from Bobbi Brown. This is a cult product for under eyes. We've got a creamy concealer in natural and then a sheer finish pressed powder in pale yellow. I will be keeping that one. Another Studio Finish concealer from MAC. This is in NC20. I will be keeping that. This is something I don't use enough. This is really for professional makeup artists. It's the Bobbi Brown BBU palette. It contains correctors, creamy concealers, and foundation stick formulations. You can see you've got a bunch here. I have used it a couple of times, not enough to warrant the price though. And then you've also got these products here. So the stick foundations here and the concealers and correctors here. A really nice universal palette. I will be keeping that. From Bourjois, this is the Happy Light Concealer, Ultra Covering Concealer. Wasn't impressed, won't be keeping. Something from Milani. This is a Golden Beige Secret Cover Concealer Cream. Too old, won't be keeping. Another Bobbi Brown. This is a corrector in the shade Light to Medium Bisque. That's what that looks like. I'll be keeping that. This one is from Chanel, another expensive concealer that I wasn't terribly impressed with. This is the Corrector Perfection Concealer in the shade 20. I'll be keeping it, but wouldn't recommend. Another couple of products from MAC's Prep and Prime range. We have the highlighter in Light Boost and the highlighter in Bright Forecast. I will be keeping these, but I don't know if I'm amazed by them. Another MAC concealer. This is the Select Moisture Cover in NW20. Again, very lightweight. We've got a doe foot applicator, quite salmony. A decent one for the under eye area that probably needs a little bit more coverage for me and my under eyes. One that I picked up from last year's eye mats. This is the VisArt Professional Preview Corrector Camouflage Palette in the shade 02. I will be keeping that one. Couple drugstore products here. One from Natio, Complexion Corrector, helps minimize dark circles under eyes, lightens pigmentation. Wasn't impressed, time to say goodbye. And also one from Australis, the Color Corrector in the shade Gold, corrects under eye shadows, dark pigmentation and bruising. Time to say goodbye to both of those. The Rimmel Match Perfection Concealer, not terribly impressed, time to say goodbye. Another Garnier Skin Renew Anti-Dark Circle Roller, chucking. Another 3 Garnier Roll-On Anti-Dark Circle Rollers, chucking all of these. Something from Rimmel, the Wake Me Up Anti-Fatigue Effect Concealer, Soft Beige, wasn't impressed, chucking. Another expensive concealer, this is the Lift Lumiere Smoothing and Rejuvenating Eye Contour Concealer in 10, Beige Lumiere from Chanel. Another one that may have effect over long term, but I can't commit to that. Not terribly impressed, but will be keeping. Something that is too old. I quite liked this at the time, actually. This is the Coastal Scents Bright Eyed Eye Brightener in the shade Light. I liked it, but I'll be chucking. It is definitely time. This is one that's been hiding. I forgot I even had. It's from By Terry. It's the Touche Veloute. They call it a highlighting concealer brush, ultra smoothing, full coverage. I've got this in the shade 3. I will be keeping and using it this very weekend. Another favie from Makeup Forever, the Full Coverage Extreme Camouflage Cream in maybe 5. It kind of rubs off. That's the important bit there that is hard to see, unfortunately. Keeping another MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in the shade NW20. Keeping another Rimmel Wake Me Up Anti-Fatigue Effect Radiant Glow Concealer. Chucking one from Models Prefer, the Brow Highlighter that claims to lift and brighten. Chucking. This is one that I forgot I had as well. Don't let this happen to you, ladies. All of this junk in a drawer that you never get to. This is one that I think I will definitely get some good use out of this very week. This is the Tarte Maracuja Creaseless Concealer, and this is in the shade Light Medium. They claim full coverage, creaseless, and waterproof. Definitely one for the under eyes. Some of my favorites for my under eyes come in these types of tubes, the Laura Mercier, the Makeup Forever, the IT Cosmetics, the Cover FX. So hopefully I can add Tarte to my range of favorite under eye products. Keeping. Garnier Miracle Skin Perfector, nothing miraculous about it. Chucking. Bourjois Healthy Mix Correcting Concealer, not terribly impressed. Chucking. The Benefit Eye Bright, I don't know if they still make this. I think they do. I will keep this one for a little bit longer. It still feels and smells absolutely perfectly fine, so I will be using that one a little longer. Chucking another CoverGirl True Blend Fix Stick, not terribly impressed. Getting rid of. One from Dr. LeWinn's, it's the Skin Perfect Anti-Aging Concealer in Honey Beige. I will keep this. Keeping another Laura Mercier High Coverage Concealer. This was in the shade 3, so I've got 3, 3.5 and 4. Love. Keeping. Remember this is definitely discontinued, much to the sadness of many beauty bloggers. This is the Benefit Powder Flage. I did buy quite a few spares at the time. This is just a light pink setting powder similar to the e.l.f. and the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. Keeping. A Clickety Click pen from Inglot. Chucking. A Neutrogena Healthy Skin Brightening Eye Perfector SPF 25. Chucking. Natio Dark Circle Corrector. Chucking. Australis Liquid Concealer Pen. Chucking. This one came in a beauty box, I think, a subscription box of some kind from Mironess. It is an Eye Concealer 24-hour concealer. I don't remember being impressed with this one. I don't think it lasted 24 hours. Not the right shade for anything on my face, and I don't think I used it much as a brightener or anything else. Chucking. One from Physicians Formula. This is part of their Youthful Wear line, and again we've got 2 different sides. It looks similar to the Lorac. I will be keeping this one, as I will the full-size Benefit Fake Up Concealer. Another palette here from Coastal Scents. This is the Camouflage Concealer palette, untouched, so I have no idea what I think about that. I might keep that, see if it's okay. Chucking this unused Maybelline Dream Mousse Concealer, something from Victoria's Secret. It is the Camouflage FX Concealer palette. Definitely time to say goodbye to that one. Another Maybelline Dream Mousse Concealer. Chucking. Another MAC Prep and Prime. This is the highlighter in the shade Radiant Rose. Keeping. From Giorgio Armani, this is the Maestro Eraser Dark Circle Concealer in the shade 3. It is expensive. I will be keeping it. Another CoverGirl and Olay Simply Ageless Eye Concealer in the shade 215. A really nice one from the drugstore. You can see there, absolutely fine, creamy. Smells absolutely fine. I'll be keeping that one. And finally, something that I don't even know if I've used from Australis, the Conceal Correct 4-in-1 Concealer Corrector Palette. I will be chucking that one. I'm just not getting use from it. One more product. It was hiding from me, another CoverGirl True Blend Fix Stick, time to chuck. That is everything from my concealer drawer. We are completely empty. This is gonna get a nice clean out, and I will be back to show you what the concealer collection looks like now, as well as a final count. And this is the magical finishing product. I've got some palettes up the back. I've got my sort of doe foot applicators here, my twist and click pens here, all of my tubes at the front. I've got my brightener and brightening powder here. I've got all my sort of crown and stick concealers here. And then here at the back, I've got all the rest of my powders and my pot concealers. So at least I have a good idea of where I need to go to find what concealer I'm after. It doesn't keep everything visible, and the drawer is still fairly busy, but it's just not jam-packed as much as it was when we started this video. So this is what it looks like. I'm happy at this point with the final organization. We'll see how soon it takes for this to get to a chaotic state again. Final count, I'm actually keeping 88 concealers, but I'm really proud I've actually gotten rid of 53 concealers. So again, does any human being need this amount of concealers? No, absolutely not. Maybe 2, 3, 4 concealers at most, and you can call it a day. Please do let me know in the comments what your favorite concealer is. I would love to hear from you. I hope that you enjoyed this episode of Makeup Graveyard. Not quite as many swatches, but hopefully you got an idea of what concealers I love, what concealers are not worth the money, at least. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a gorgeous day, and please don't forget, you are beautiful. You are, inside and out. It's one thing to look at though, make sure you be it. It is so much more important, and we will see you again really, really soon. Bye.